bands, but these are just ones that I've listened to for years and years and years, and they all mean something to me. In other words, my life on vinyl. So, before I get started, Oliver, happy birthday, Oliver. Oliver has a birthday July 19th, so happy birthday, Oliver. I'm probably a little bit late, but as you know, my videos are all recorded ahead of time, so I just do them when I can. So, I got some nice barbecued kettle chips here. So, got a bubbly. First up, Golden Earring. Golden Earring. I believe they're a Dutch band. I believe that. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. But I was a big fan the minute I heard them. You know, Radar Love and Candy's Gone Bad. You know, good stuff. I remember they had an excellent drummer. But these guys blew me away. I remember seeing them on TV. Wow, they were so good. Not sure whatever happened to them. But like I said, I loved watching them. They had great stage presence. You know, good showmanship. Had a great song. I love the song Radar Love. It's so cool. So, there's that one. So, I'll just put my records over here. I'll just move a few things around here. Okay. Here's one you may or may not have heard of. Goose Creek Symphony. Goose Creek Symphony. I saw these guys, they played in town. Probably around 79 or 80, thereabouts. I first heard of them. A friend of mine turned me on to them. They're kind of, well, they're definitely in the country vein, you know, country, you know, bluegrass, sort of, you know, hillbilly music type thing, but very good. They're from somewhere in the United States. Can't remember which state exactly. But anyways. You would either love it or hate it, you know. But no, I like the music. They did a good show when they played in town. Very good show. But yeah, very different. Like I said, you know, country music with a name like Goose Creek Symphony. You know, what do you expect, right? You know, kind of like Ozark Mountain Daredevils or something like that. You know, like pretty cool. But I really like their music. Haven't listened to that album in a while, but I used to listen to it all the time. Eurythmics. Eurythmics. No. Eurythmics were, you know, Annie Lennox. I really, CDs are great, but you know, they're so tiny, everything's so small in there. But I always like these big pictures, you know, it's kind of cool, you know. But no, like I said, when I first bought this record, I just played it and played it and played it then, and I haven't listened to it in a long time. You know, when I hear it on the radio, if I hear Eurythmics on the radio, I turn it up, but like in the car or something, you know. But no. Anyways. Now, FM. It's a band from Quebec, I believe. They weren't together very long. But I first heard these guys, early 80s, so a good 40 years ago. I think around 80 or 81 I heard them. Do you hear sirens? Could just be me. But very worthwhile checking out Cameron Hawkins on keyboards. There's just a trio. Cameron Hawkins on keyboards. Martin Deller, a very good drummer. And Nash the Slash. He's an act all unto himself. He passed away in 2014, I think. You know, if you're bored, Google Nash the Slash. Real stage presence, you know. He played with a lot of guys, you know, a lot of different bands, a lot of people. You know, he had an offer from David Gilmour to lay down a guitar track on his album, and he turned him down. You know, he didn't want guitars on his records. You know, he was into electric violins and mandolins and glockenspiels. I remember he got into a bit of a row with Pepsi. I think there was a lawsuit involved where they used his likeness for a commercial or something like that, and I think he took them to court, and I can't remember what the outcome was. But so FM, I love the song Phasers on Stun. Fantastic song, I love it, just really like it. Now, FOGHAT Live. I think this was recorded around 1977. I think it was 77. Yeah, it's one of those type things, right? You know, just kind of, oops. I listen to this over, you know, I still listen to this, you know, on Spotify, that sort of thing. The opening track, Fool for the City, really gets your attention. You know, FOGHAT. I think there's a few guys from the old Savoy Brown and FOGHAT. But, you know, I was never a real FOGHAT fan. Never had any of their other records, but this live record is a classic. FOGHAT Live. I think they may have released another live album somewhere down the road, but it didn't do as well as this one. I think it was recorded in 77. That's pretty much about the year I bought it, too. I've had this since the 70s, so well played. Elton John, Rock of the Westies. We got a little puppy that chewed that off. That was years ago, man. It was after we bought our house, so that was in 83. Rock of the Westies, I was listening to this, I think, in high school, you know. Yeah, long time. Very good record. This is when Elton John was at his, you know, at his peak, you know. Bernie Taupin, you know. The musicians on there, just fantastic. Really good record. I think he just signed a contract for $8 million, and they called him the $8 million man, which was unheard of back in the 70s. You know, a record contract for $8 million in the 70s, a lot of money. But this record is just classic. Absolutely. Very, very good. It's like the quintessential Elton John album. Now, Firefall. Firefall. I first heard of these guys, I guess around 79 or 80. And I bought this record sometime around then. Probably more in the early 80s. The genre, I would think, would be more sort of middle of the road. Kind of reminded me of the Doobie Brothers in a way, you know, that sort of thing. Eagles, Doobie Brothers, kind of, you know, easy listening, easy listening. There's a song on here called Headed for a Fall. Really good tune. Whole record is great. Like I said, easy listening. Very nice. Lovely record. I assume these guys are from, well, they're from the States, you know, the United States, but I'm not sure it's Los Angeles area. I don't really know, but I think they got their name from an event where they used to build a big bonfire and then push it over a cliff. Not sure they still do that, but I think that's where the name came from. Who's never heard of this one? Fleetwood Mac, Rumours. I think there was a time when, if you went through somebody's record collection, everybody had Rumours, you know, Dark Side of the Moon, Phantom Comes Alive, and, you know, Lover Boy, or, you know, whatever, right? It's just one of those quintessential records that, you know, like everybody had this one kind of scene. Good record. You know, Fleetwood Mac. I remember back in the late 70s, they were like the hottest act around. They were huge. But nothing they ever did after, in my opinion, really matched this record. I think Mick Fleetwood has a restaurant in Hawaii or something. I think I saw him on Triple D. Okay. Focus. Hocus Pocus. This band, this record's called Dutch Masters. So, Focus was from Holland. They had a song called Hocus Pocus. And that song floored me when I first heard it. I'm eating my own hair. I saw these guys on TV when I was in high school. They're on television, and the song Hocus Pocus floored me. And I mean, everything about it. You know, can't pronounce the guy's name who sang and played keyboards. He also played the flute. What a voice. Wow. Excellent drummer, you know. Very good. I think their claim to fame was Hocus Pocus, but this whole album, surprisingly, is very good. There's some very good stuff on here. I had the original record that I bought in high school. dozen, we'll keep them for a month, and sometimes you trade for keeps. And I think I may have traded my Focus record for keeps because I remember it was gone one time. And so when I found this one at a bin sale, paid $2 for it. But yeah, it said $2 up there. So I bought this one again. So glad I did. That's the type of record you play it loud, it'll drive your neighbors crazy. Al Stewart, Year of the Cat. Al Stewart. First heard of him in high school. I liked him, but his music is very mellow, very good lyrics. He really paints a picture when he's singing. Like I said, very middle of the road, very mellow, easy listening. The record I actually heard before this one, I can't remember the name of it, but it was quite well known too. He did very well with it, but Year of the Cat was very good. This is a very good record. It sounds very dated when you hear it now. A lot of records have that sound to them where the drums are very, like everything's recorded in a dead room where it's very muffled and just, they're not like a live sound at all. And you hear that with everything. The guitars, a lot of compression on the recording, that sort of thing. And it's a great record, good recording, but there's just something about it. It has that 70s sound to it. So, Jefferson Airplane, greatest hits. I bought this around 1981, 80. I used to have some other Jefferson Airplane records. I never thought they were that great. I always kind of thought they were overrated. But their recordings are pretty good. Of course, they later became Jefferson Starship. But this record, greatest hits, has everything you want to hear on it. You know, when you listen to Somebody to Love when it's been remixed like this was, sounds really good, you know. I was used to hearing a lot of those songs on the radio on a small speaker mono. And when you put on some headphones and listen to this, it's actually very good. American Woman. Guess who? Band from Winnipeg. I was never that crazy about the song American Woman itself. I liked the intro. But to me it was just kind of repetitious. But I love a lot of their other stuff, like No Sugar Tonight. I love the song No Time, The way it starts out with Gary Peterson doing a good drum beat. A very classic record as far as Guess Who is concerned, Lenny Kravitz did a pretty good cover of American Woman years ago. Once again, very typical 70s recording with, a lot of compression and just, doesn't have a real live sound to it, if you know what I mean. Very much a studio record from that era. Very much so. Now, here's one for you. Sparks. bunch of girls on there, I believe, you know. The album was called Kimono My House, came out in the 70s. It's a play on that song, you know, come on to my house, come on to my house, you know. Kimono My House, they're both wearing kimonos. I saw these guys on, I think it was Don Kirshner's rock concert. I used to watch these concert shows when I was in high school. That started around 11 o'clock. There's Don Kirshner's rock concert, Wide World in concert, and Midnight Special. And I was fascinated by those shows because they always had live bands. They had like Black Oak, Arkansas, you know. They had everybody, you know, and they had, I mean, you name it, they had all kinds of bands on there, you know. And Sparks was on there one time, and Sparks really blew me away. Very quirky, very different sound. I would have to say this band was a good 10 years ahead of their time. This record was good 10 years ahead of its time. I think they're from Los Angeles. They're huge in Europe. They tour Europe extensively. They're huge over there. But this is the only Sparks album I have. And they've got a lot of records, so they put out a lot. There's a song called This Town Ain't Big Enough for Both of Us. You know what really captured me about these guys was when I saw them on TV. The Mail Brothers. This guy, Ron, keyboard player, and Russell just sings. Ron would just sit there like this, playing this little piano, little rolling piano, just sit there like that. Then you know. So, do yourself a favor. Google Sparks. You know, it's an old video. This Town Ain't Big Enough for Both of Us. You know, try and find like the original video where they were playing on TV, where they were playing that song. Or there's other songs like Amateur Hour, or you know, different songs on there. This record, like I said, this one is in high school. I played it to death. Just played it. Even the cover is worn out on it. You know. It's I gotta be honest, I'm not sure how you describe their music. The sound and everything else is very different. There's another band that covered their song, This Town Ain't Big Enough for Both of Us. I think it was 9 Inch Nails, but I'm not sure. They did a smoking good job. Anyway, Sparks, very different. Great KIHN band. When I first heard the breakup song, it just blew me away. I listened to it and listened to it and listened to it over and over. I was playing in a band around 1983, you know, classic rock, top 40 band. And every once in a while it was up to each individual member to bring a new song. And so I bought this record, and the breakup song, I wrote the lyrics out. I got my friend Brett, who is a very good guitar player. He figured the chords out for me, you know, basically within minutes. It was very simple, very straightforward. I brought it to the rest of the band, played it for him, said, here's the lyrics and the guitar progression. Man, they all loved it. So we played that song. It was actually very easy to play. Very good. I love that too. Yeah, great KIHN. You know, Contagious. You know, all his records have that KIHN in there somewhere. You know, I remember his videos were funny where he had a song called Jeopardy. No, it wasn't him. He had a song called Jeopardy. My Love's in Jeopardy, baby. Weird Al Yankovic did a video where he goes, I lost on Jeopardy about the game show. It was just a hoot. It was just hilarious. But great record. Very good. Good studio recording. And of course, this was another record that everybody had back in the 70s, Super Tramp. released many good albums, a lot of albums after this. I think all their stuff was pretty good, you know, really. They played in Vancouver. I was sorry I missed them. I just didn't go. Concert tickets are expensive, and I would have to pick and choose. And I worked with a woman who, you know, to this day, she still talks about how good the concert was. You know, they all came out in tuxedos and had a glass of wine, and you know, played very well. Totto. Now, one of the things I like about this band was the drummer. This whole the whole band is great. You know, here's another record that everybody had. Really good. 6-piece band. Not hard rock. I guess it's easy listening, but it's still, it can still kind of kick ass a bit. That song, Hold the Line, I love that song. Very good song. Love it. Boy, these chips are good. I remember borrowing this off a friend, and I ended up having to just go out and buy my own copy because I didn't want to give it back. But anyways, excellent musicianship, very good recording. Got nothing bad to say about it. Now, Three Dog Night, greatest hits. Three Dog Night. You know, I first heard these guys back in the 60s when I was in a band. I was a little kid playing a band. We played Joy to the World. These guys were very, very popular back in the 60s and early 70s. I love this song, One. You know, One is long as and they had so many good songs. Really good. Never been to Spain, you know. They had a lot of good songs. 3 good vocalists. I think one of them has passed away. But I remember seeing them on TV. Very entertaining. They had a live album they released. It was recorded in '69 at the LA Forum, I think. Listen to that over and over and over and over. You know, I like greatest hits albums sometimes because you know, some albums back in the 60s. Back in the 60s, and this is no joke, a lot of times you would buy an album and there was one good song on it, you know. As where later on albums became known as all killer, no filler, you know, like, because back in the 60s, a lot of times you buy an album, there's like one good song, which is that song, and the rest was just filler. It was just terrible, you know. So that's why a lot of times it was nice to buy a greatest hits album, because then you got all the good stuff. Or all their best stuff. 10cc. The album was 100cc. Pretty good record. 10cc was a band that I never listened to a lot, but anything I heard I liked, and I would never turn it off if I heard it on the radio. There was something about their music that it wasn't great, but it was definitely, it was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. They just weren't great, but I liked them. I thought they were interesting. I like the name. If you want to know what it means, look it up. Here's somebody you may or may not have heard of. SHAWN Phillips. SHAWN Phillips. SHAWN Phillips. Okay, there it is. Very middle of the road, easy listening. Beautiful voice this guy has. I first heard this guy back in the late 70s. This album came out probably around 79, 80, thereabouts. I'm not sure. Maybe earlier, I'm not sure. I've had it for years. Women seem to love this record. I think most people, when they hear this guy sing, they're thinking, wow, who is that? It's very good. Well-produced record. I don't know whatever happened to him. I know at one point I read somewhere he was working. He had long hair, like mine, but blonde. He was working on an outboard motor, and he had the cowling off, and he was working on it. He went to fire it up, and all his hair got stuck in there. Wow. See, with me, if that happened, I would just pull my hair off at the same time. Wouldn't be a problem. But I think a person would go into shock with that much pain. Plays a 12-string guitar. Excellent guitar player. Excellent. Beautiful voice. SHAWN Phillips. Very nice record. Very good. Oops. I banged my Yeti. Last but not least. Yes. Men at Work, Cargo. I like this better than the first album. The album they came out with, the song Down Under. I love that song. I was addicted to it the minute I heard it. But I actually prefer this record, which came out after. It's got a lot of really good tunes on it. I like the way it's recorded, It's very slick, very slick. Garbage day today. There used to be a local band. Can't remember the name. They used to play the pubs. And they would play stuff from this album. They played it very well. But Men at Work. I like their stuff. I like their music. I love the song Down Under. I'm not sure if that was their first album or what, but that was a good song. And I just thought the way it sort of bounced along, it was just kind of cool, it was very lively. It was a very lively tune, And there's this album's a bit more political. A lot of it was kind of aimed at the Reagan era, if you listen to it. Songs like It's a Mistake, stuff like that. Good chips. Check out my lava lamp. Somebody must have sat on this bag because all the pieces are small. Linda's at Tai Chi right now with her friend Lynn. During this type of weather, it's been really hot here. They do it in Ladysmith, about 20 minutes away. And they do it down by the water. And she always tells me she can see Pamela Anderson's house. I don't know why she tells me that. But she promised me if I go to Costco with her, she'll buy me a hot dog. How can I say no to a Costco hot dog? I just can't. madhouse sometimes. Wow. I have to admit, it reminds me, when I visited Asia, it was so crowded, but people were so friendly, so lovely, and so patient, and just, here you have all kinds of road rage, but there, they're not like that at all, just lovely people. So I go to Costco, reminds me of that, because there's just so many shopping carts everywhere, and yet people seem to be, quite patient about it. I guess you have to expect that when you go there. Well, that's it, my friends. That's my top 20. And that was number 3. I've had a lot of requests for that. When I run out of albums, I'll start doing CDs. I should do my whole entire Bob Dylan collection. I got more than 20. I could probably do a couple of videos. Well, there's my friends. You look after yourselves, look after each other. You want a shout out or birthday wish, you hit me up, okay? Stay amazing out there in the land of awesome, and we'll see you next time, okay?